So in this video, I'm going to be looking at what I think a bad day as a web developer looks like. I had a comment from a viewer by the name of Big Pockets who basically wrote at the end of his comment, what does a bad day as a web developer look like? And that question really piqued my interests all of a sudden, because it's something I'd never thought about myself. I'd never thought, what makes a bad day? Like, if you're out there like me and you're looking for advice on how to be a web developer or what it's like working as a web developer, all the videos out there are very positive. They're always talking about, how good it is and how much of a good job it is and the great salary and the benefits, but nobody ever really talks about the bad sides of being a web developer. So thanks a lot, Big Pockets, for asking this question, and I've kind of noted down a couple of answers. So I'd say my number one bad thing about being a web developer is getting stuck on a problem or getting stuck on a bug. This can be really frustrating, and it can be really annoying to be working on something, having great progress, and then suddenly you get stuck and you can't work out how to do the next thing. There's no answer on Stack Overflow. You might be working on a proprietary bit of software in your own company's way of doing it, so there isn't necessarily a standard out there for how to solve a problem. And this can be really frustrating, getting stuck on a problem, not knowing how to fix it. Now, being a web developer, obviously you're sitting in front of a computer most of the day, sitting in an office, so the lack of movement, for me at least, really sucks. I have to force myself sometimes to get up and interrupt my workflow, to just go downstairs and just go and wander around a bit, maybe nip down to the shop down the road and just go and buy a bottle of water or something, just wanting to get myself moving, because there are times where I'll just be sitting there and I'll just feel my whole body just tensed up, and that's horrible. Like, that feeling of knowing that I'm not in a physical job, and I'm not moving my body as I should be, is pretty rubbish. I'd say another thing that, for me at least, is a bad day, is trying to learn new frameworks. Obviously, being JavaScript, there are 1,000,001 frameworks out there for building front-end web applications. Obviously, the most popular, Angular, React. But I kind of learned Angular 1 or Angular JS at my bootcamp. I'm now kind of in the middle of learning Angular 2, and it's frustrating. It's not fun. The days where I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to work something out, until it really clicks, there are some pretty rubbish days when I've been trying to work out, how this component fits together and where the modules go, and how do I install this, and how do I do that, and how do I do basic stuff that, in basic JavaScript or Angular 1 I could just do. So yeah, days like that are pretty rubbish. If you're working in a larger team with a back-end team and a QA team, then you might be working in agile methodology, which is working in an ongoing sprint. And there are some times in sprints where the back-end team just haven't finished their work yet, and the only way that I could go on and keep going with my work is if they finish theirs. And there's times where the back-end team, they might estimate that something will take 3 or 4 days to build, and in the end of the day it takes 2 weeks. So it's those days that you're kind of just sitting there trying to find stuff to do, waiting for somebody else to finish their work. That's frustrating. Those days are horrible, where you kind of just you want to go and just grab this person and be, well, work faster, work better, because I want to do my work. It's weird, but those days suck. And finally, it maybe sounds like whining, but I'd say the long hours are pretty killer. Here in Israel, it's normal to work anywhere between 9 to 12 hours. It's not really, nobody really bats an eyelid if you're working those kinds of hours, and it kind of sucks. There are days where I'm sitting there, I might have finished my work for the day, but because of, company feeling and how people are going to look at you, it kind of, you don't feel comfortable getting up and going early. So yeah, that kind of sucks as well. So that was my kind of 5 reasons off the top of my head why I think being a web developer sucks. I do love my job, I love the career I'm in, but obviously, like every career, there are bad sides to it too. There are bad sides that people don't talk about. So if you are also a developer or anything like that, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to know what you don't like about your job. Just kind of be cool, to open up a forum and have a bit of an open conversation about, the bad sides. Because I think it's important. If you're watching this video and you're wanting to get into web development, or you're new in the industry, it's important to understand as well that it isn't all just, rainbows and, fun. There are bad sides to it as well, like every job. And I think it's important to put it out there and at least, offer my opinion on the things that I don't enjoy about it. So I know it was a bit of a downer video, but if you did enjoy it, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I've got a load of other videos on my channel that are more positive, obviously, about being a web developer. So please go ahead and check those out as well. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next time.